President Obama made the first trip of his presidency to Ground Zero Thursday. He was there to mark the killing of Osama bin Laden and met with the families of 9/11 victims. He also once again spoke with 60 Minutes' Steve Croft, this time about what happens next in Afghanistan now that bin Laden is dead.
There are people in Congress, influential people now on both sides of the aisle, who are saying that this is an opportunity for us to cut our commitment in Afghanistan and begin and hasten our withdrawals.
Well, keep in mind, I've already made a commitment that starting in July of this year, we are drawing down troops and we are transitioning. We're training Afghan forces so that they can start securing their own country. And so what has happened on Sunday, I think, reconfirms that we can focus on al-Qaeda, focus on the threats to our homeland, train Afghans in a way that allows them to stabilize their country. But we don't need to have a perpetual footprint of the size that we have now.
Right now, there are about 100,000 U.S. servicemen and women in Afghanistan, and there are calls from both sides to speed up the withdrawal. For more, we are joined from Washington by Politico's senior editor, David Mark. Thanks for being with us, David.
My pleasure. Good to be with you.
So, do you think the president will speed up the United States withdrawal from Afghanistan?
It looks like it's actually going in that direction. Troops were already set to be withdrawn starting in July 2011 and then moving forward over the next 3 years. Certainly not all troops will be withdrawn, but I do think the president's going to face some tough questions about what the purpose of the mission is there going forward.
What do you think Osama bin Laden's killing is going to do for the president politically?
I think it's a big boon for the president politically. It gives him a lot more room to maneuver, both in terms of withdrawing troops from Afghanistan, as we were just discussing, but also just how he's perceived domestically and also internationally. He's shown he's willing to use force when necessary, and he's not shy about doing so.
Well, he's also gotten some criticism over his decision not to release the picture of bin Laden's body. Sarah Palin, in particular, was one Republican who disagreed, and on her Twitter page, she wrote, quote, "Show photo as warning to others seeking America's destruction. No pussyfooting around, no politicking, no drama. It is part of the mission." So is this something Republicans are going to focus on as we get closer to the election?
It's interesting. This photo issue actually is not broken down along partisan lines that much. You have some Republicans like Sarah Palin saying, yeah, put it out there. But some others, like the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Mike Rogers, is saying, you know what, that could put our troops in danger. Democrats are also split on it. So I don't think the president is actually facing that much pressure at home to release the photos.
And some people are split about how this all went down. In fact, some critics say that it's a violation of international law for an unarmed bin Laden to be shot down in the way that he was. Do you think legally President Obama could see some ramifications from all of this?
I think that's highly doubtful. Eric Holder, the U.S. Attorney General, was asked about this at a congressional hearing a couple of days ago. He said, look, bin Laden was an international criminal. He was leader of a terrorist organization. There was ample justification for going after him. Only those on the legal fringes, I think, are really criticizing the president. I don't think it's going to get too far.
And I'm going to shift gears now, David, because Vice President Joe Biden met with lawmakers on both sides, and he wanted to discuss the debt limit. Do you think we're going to see some movement on that?
Actually, the meeting was surprisingly cordial. It seemed like both sides were actually willing to work together. The deadline that they're facing now is probably early August, before the money runs out, before the debt limit ceiling is hit. So I think they both want to reach a deal, and I think talks are going forward, and there actually is some reason for optimism.
We covered a lot of ground. David Mark from Politico, as always, we do appreciate your insight. Thanks for being with us.
My pleasure. Thank you.